Hey guys, Desolate Magic here, and boy, do we have a lot of magic news going on this week. It's really popping off, and I think I'm gonna have like 8 videos between today and tomorrow, but we're starting with the big one, a ban announcement. Don't get too excited. It didn't affect Standard at all because they're idiots. So simultaneously with the Alchemy game update, which I thought was maybe the 9th or something, I don't know, whatever, coming up soon, the following cards will be banned in Historic Brawl, aka the Commander format that they're trying to push on people. Somebody said, hey, Arena's failing miserably. We're losing money left and right. We're losing active customers. What do we do? And somebody said, Commander. That's the only thing people still play. And they're like, wait, didn't we try that with Brawl? Oh, yeah. We're supposed to be managing that format. Oh, crap. What's going on with it? Oh, everybody's pissed because everybody's playing the same 6 cards. Okay, cool, great. So they're like, okay, let's make it 99 plus 1. Let's literally make it Commander. And then let's make it Historic, and then let's dump 1,000 cards into Historic, and there we go. We've got Commander. We've got Online Commander, which they already have Online Commander. It's MTGO, but that's just hyper-competitive douchebags who play with people they don't know and only care about winning, which I'm sure it'll be different on Arena. Arena's such a welcoming, generous community full of, players that say good game even when they lose. Just kidding, it's net decking assholes who only care about winning. So I don't know what about this is going to work, but the good news is Agent of Treachery, Field of the Dead, and Ugin the Spirit Dragon are now banned. The bad news is nothing else is. So Rainbow Road Freecasting Rainbow Bite Princess Bitch, whatever her actual name is, Essica, I think, she's still there. That triple-chinned SJW looking douche, what's his name? Kinnan, he's still there. I mean, I don't even know if these are relevant in Historic. I'm just going off of when I heavily played Brawl in Standard, and that was like a year ago. But I mean, it's not like the cards aren't in Historic. So yeah, people were like, hooray for this. And then half the other replies on multiple social medias were like, yeah, but we still have this that needs to be banned. So Wizards' ridiculous 2 paragraphs they have on this, which is like nothing, is these cards have been overly prevalent in main decks. And I love how they say main decks instead of like net decks or competitive decks. They keep changing up the wording to try and trick you into thinking that they're not constantly talking about the same thing and the same problem. Anyway, and each one either exploits or pushes against one of the primary elements of the format. Gameplay focusing on a single important permanent, your commander. Singleton deck building or color restrictions. I mean, looking at like Agent of Treachery, Field of the Dead, and Ugin, I don't think that I would really agree with that. I'd say probably Kenrith is the bigger problem. And Rainbow Bright, aka the freecasting Rainbow Road, Bifrost Bridge bitch. But I guess they didn't say mana being needed to cast spells is a fundamental part of the format. So they go on to say, although rebalancing is now a tool at our disposal. Oh, that's right. Alchemy changing the wording on cards, it stretches in Historic, and everybody's pissed about that. Video pending on that one. They go on to say, we intend to preserve the spirit of any rebalanced cards. Okay, so I mean, if I were to infer what they mean by that, because they're not being very direct here, it's pretty much what I said. Like, if you're just going to cripple a card to the point where it's not even the same card, just ban the damn card. I mean, this whole like, oh, we can tweak things. We can, quote, rebalance cards by making something cost like 4 instead of 5 or whatever. Or, now it only generates tokens under this narrow condition. It's still primarily the same card, but it's weakened. And I agree 100% with that. What I don't agree with is that Wizards is the ones doing it, and they just are incapable of reading the meta correctly. All their employees are ex-judges and ex-pro players. They don't even know what fun is. They don't, hang out and play with their friends. They're all about, like, tournament numbers, stats, that's it. And it shows, because they don't know what a good card is and what a bad card is. They have no idea. I mean, remember, this is coming from the people who banned Emrakul instead of Aetherworks Marvel, because it wasn't freecasting that was the problem. It was Emrakul, even though literally nobody played Emrakul unless they freecast it. And then, like, what? 2 weeks later, they banned Aetherworks Marvel, and then they were so embarrassed they didn't unban Emrakul, because that would admit that they made a mistake. They're very egotistical people over there. So, like, just as the tip of the iceberg, that's who's in charge of this rebalance. Now, rebalancing, I heard it's kind of okay in Hearthstone. I heard they do that. I wouldn't know. But what I do know about is a vastly superior TCG. Full disclosure, former sponsor of the channel. Domain TCG. I mean, this guy, like, he'll look at the stats every week and be like, oh yeah, that deck's winning too much. Done, fixed. Oh, somebody's running this stupid gimmick. Well, instead of saying, yay, deck diversity, what a unique strategy, he's like, yeah, that's some bullshit, and everybody playing against it is pissed. Like, one was 0 drops, free creatures that cost 0. They're really weak, but they cost 0. He just across the board gutted their toughness by like 1. Or attack power, both, one of the two, and then, yeah, the deck just, it wasn't gone, it was just, okay, you want to play a dumb gimmick, haha, funny deck, but it wasn't just demolishing everybody. So the deck is still a playable option, but it's not, a bulldozer that everybody has to play around. So rebalancing, I'm all for it, but to reiterate, Wizards is the ones doing the rebalancing, and holy crap have they already proven that they don't know how to do it. Just look at the double quote upgrades that they're making with Alchemy with the new cards that are just taking every tier 1 deck and upgrading it. I guess they thought that was a good idea. That's their idea of a rebalance, is to make the game literally less balanced, ensuring that only a couple decks that they approve of can run, and it's not fun decks, not anything anybody wants to play against. 63 new cards with 11 rebalance cards. That's what we're sitting at right now, in case you were wondering. So it should be 63 rebalance cards and 11 new ones. In fact, 0 new ones. In fact, don't even make it a new format, just fix standard. That's how far disconnected we are from anything anybody even asked for. So anyway, they complete this wonderful ban announcement with, for these 3 cards in Historic Brawl, it still presents a problem, as rebalancing would likely either result in an unsatisfying card or be ineffective at addressing the issue. In cases such as this, bans are still warranted. So I am glad that they said that and glad that that's on the table, but they make contradictory statements contradictory to what they do in the past and the future during these ban announcements all the time. Like one time they even had the unbelievable just testicular fortitude to come out and say, we actually care about fun, enjoyable gameplay, and this card is the antipathy of that, so almost solely because of that, we're banning it. And then every other ban announcement in the world, it's like, numbers. Yeah, everybody says they don't want infinite combos, they don't want to play against Mill, and they don't want to play against Hyper Control, Super Friend Planeswalker Dump. But on the other hand, you guys, numbers. We don't care about fun, we care about numbers, because we know better than you, because we're former pro players that don't play the game anymore. And I don't know if you knew it or not, but we live in Seattle, so we're always right. When that's who's doing the ban announcements and the rebalancing, pardon me if I don't have a lot of faith in it, I kid you not. If we had seen 0 spoilers, I would actually be extremely excited about Alchemy, because the fundamental idea behind it, I would just be like throwing a party. Like, let's go, 24-hour live stream. Let's sing show tunes and cook bacon shirtless, because they're finally gonna react quickly to what standard really is on Arena, which is something completely different than paper best of 3. But because they showed us the cards they're adding in and the cards are rebalancing, I'm like, okay, that's not the direction we need to go. Okay, well, you had me for a second there. So I don't know. Honestly, if they're like, whoa, we launched this wrong, and 6 months from now they actually get it down, I'm down to play it. It looks to me like a wild card grabbing, rare burning cash grab. It doesn't even look like what they're saying on the face is remotely true, which is, we want to react faster and blah, 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 and more games are played digital and best of 1 is different and all the other stuff they said. I don't believe in any of it. I think they were just like, our CEO told us to make more money and this looked like a cash grab because you dumb whales will play anything. That's what it seems like to me, because when they keep moving the bar and power creeping and you have to keep buying new cards just to keep up, that's just whale abuse, okay? And I'm against the abuse of whales, damn it. Well, anyway, that's the shit ban announcement. I don't know, let me give you my take on this. Agent of Treachery, yeah, screw that card. I don't want people stealing my shit. It's that simple. It's literally that simple. And remember, in Standard, people would just clone it and steal everything? Yeah, the fact that it costs 7 means nothing, and that means less than nothing in Historic. Field of the Dead is just an unlimited source of zombies that you can't stop even with a board wipe. You literally need land destruction. I think in Historic, there's 2 or 3 cards that do that, so that's bullshit. Just an infinite token generator that you can't stop. Did that not trigger any alarm bells for anybody at Wizards? Really, they didn't think, I wonder if a non-interactable infinite token generator would be a problem. Can't imagine why. Literally, some of the most complained about cards in the recent history of Magic were ones that bring out tokens for free, and those were creatures and enchantments. You want to talk about a land that does it? You gotta be kidding me. And when this was in Standard, everybody, and I mean every deck this was in, would hide behind 20 plus control spells, bad control spells. They don't care if you're board wiping, they're board wiping, it doesn't matter because they'll have infinite zombies, and that was just such utter horseshit. And then Ugin, he just never should have been reprinted. People were pissed when they brought him back. People were pissed the last time around in cons, that block when he was printed. FRF if I'm not mistaken, but yeah, he's just too powerful. He's just too good. He cannot be reached. He's even more egregious than Lolth, and you can't get to her on the ground or the air or with anything but a direct kill spell, and even then, now you've got a bunch of Menace Reachers in play to deal with, so she's just too fucking good. Ugin is worse. So yeah, great, but Kinnan and what else did people complain about? Rainbow Bright, the free casting bitch from hell from Kaladesh. Yeah, those are still legal, so if anything, they made it worse, but I mean, it's not like people running Field of the Dead as their commander, okay? Ugin they were, Agent of Treachery, not by rule, he isn't legendary, so 2 out of 3, it's like, okay, cool, and then Ugin, they're just like, yeah, ditch him. He's just too damn good as a commander, you get him out, and there's just no killing him, and they'll just bring him out for 10 the next time. If you do manage to get to him, he's coming right back out, and that's just ridiculous. So they got rid of 2 toxic cards, which I'm 100% for, but then they only got rid of 1 toxic commander, which I'm not for at all. So I won't be back playing it, and I don't think that getting rid of, a 2 of that are barely fetchable, if at all, in a now 99 card singleton deck, I don't think that was like a good move, but then again, I haven't played enough. Maybe people did fetch them all the time with some card I didn't know about, which, since I've last played Historic, they've added almost 2,000 cards to it. But that's my take on it. I think more needs to be done. I think a lot more needs to be done, but, yeah, these were problematic and this is overdue. So once again, the ban announcement shows up months and months and months late. I mean, when did the last one of these come out? Like, we got M21, M20, and M20. You got to be kidding me. So this showed up late, and there's way more to be done, and I'm sure we can't expect another ban from Historic for like another, 6 months probably. And just, if they want people to come back and play it, they're going to need to actually fix it. They're going to need to go a hell of a lot further than this, and that's all that really needs to be said about this. So, there is one more thing I want to mention, though. I'm going to mention it in another video, but this is relevant. Whatever tweak they make to standard alchemy, whatever the hell, is going to affect Historic, and whenever it affects, or whatever they make the tweak because of Historic, it's going to affect alchemy / standard, because alchemy is the new replacement for standard, despite what they're saying. And almost by default, one of those is not going to fit. Now, if they tweaked Field of the Dead, I don't know what they would possibly do to it. I don't know. Agent of Treachery, make it only steal enchantments instead of just whatever the hell you want. I don't know. Okay, cool. Like that would be beneficial in both Historic and in standard. But usually they'll be addressing like what decks are number 1 that shouldn't be, or trying to tweak a card up into tier 1. And that's going to have some unintended consequences for anybody playing it in the opposite format, because standard and Historic are very far apart right now. They used to be similar. Now they're 2 completely different worlds. So I'm worried about that, because now they also are focusing this ban announcement on Historic Brawl. So we've got Historic Constructed, Historic Brawl, and Standard, and Alchemy, and 3 of those formats will be heavily affected by a card rebalance, which means 2 of them are going to get absolutely screwed over, especially if they're legendary. So, I mean, they've got to consider that. If there's a card that really needs to be rebalanced in Alchemy, and they're like, yeah, but people run that as their commander, we'll just ruin their entire deck if we rebalance it. Oops. So, like, I've got an idea. If you're going to fragmentize it to hell, we've already got, the paper card says one thing and the digital card says another. Oh, well, Wizards has already thrown that out the window. We might as well just pull the trigger even harder and say, you know what? Fine, we're making 3 versions of the card. We're having the Historic version of the card, which we rebalanced. We've got the Standard version, or Alchemy, whatever. And then we've got the Brawl version. Because then you can tailor the card to the exact format that it's being or not being a problem in. And there's no overflow. There's no unintended consequences. Why didn't that seem like a good idea to them? And I guarantee they brought this up in a meeting and said, yeah, but that'll fragment it even more, and it's already fragmented to hell. And they're like, you're right. We shouldn't make this problem that we ourselves created any worse. Well, now you're stuck in the middle. I mean, we have cards from the A series right now before Alchemy even came out. We're talking like 3 to 6 months ago that you look up in the Gatherer and they don't even exist. I'm playing with cards that don't exist in Standard Constructed. If I wanted to go to F&M and say, I'm going to run the same deck that I run on Arena because, I'm used to it and I like it and it's powerful. And then you look it up and you're like, what do you mean this card doesn't exist and isn't real, and they're letting me play with it in Standard Constructed? What the hell? And I'm not even saying there's 1 or 2. There's like 20 cards that don't exist that you can add to your best of 1 deck on Arena. Now, if you play best of 3, it is at exact parity with Standard Constructed in paper. That's what I've heard. So, okay, if you want full-blown simulation in both areas, you can do it. That's their little out, which is why, in my opinion, they leaned on, well, okay, best of 1 always was its own thing. Let's just not make a separate Historic one. We'll just fragment it to the point we've already done it already, because at least there's some logic there, which I don't agree with at all, obviously. But it is what it is. I mean, this is better than not banning anything, but I am absolutely pissed that they're not banning anything from Standard. But they're basically abandoning Standard and focusing on this Alchemy crap, because that's where all the money is and that's where all the wild card grabbing scams are. So we're not going to see a ban in Standard until never. I don't think we'll ever see one again, to be perfectly honest, until Alchemy falls flat on its face and they just give up. Well, can't wait to announce that. In the meantime, that's the ban announcement. Watch for more videos today, and I'll see you guys next time.